The friend or family member of yours who freaked out over the last 2 years is the same one who's going to turn you into the feds one day. Just remember who was who, because what we have been through was the beginning of the great sorting.
Richard Branson looking out his window. The earth is below, slightly curved, like as if it's a sphere. And there he is, like, with the earth concave, like it's curved the other way. That's weird for a sphere to curve itself that way. Do you know how hard it is for like an orange to suddenly go concave? Like, try to imagine this soccer ball like bending the other way. How could it do that? It's got a long way to go to bend the opposite way from its curve. The only thing that can go concave and convex, like spherical and cave in, is something straight. What is this, a rubber? Is this a rubber pencil? No, it's a straight pencil. Only short, only something straight can both be, can curve opposite ways.
On me. This is why homeschooling is going to be illegal at some point. And I really hate that. I don't think that should be the case. Let me be very clear. But I do think that we are headed that way. And the reason why I believe we are headed that way is because this kind of thing is going to happen in more areas than the shape of the earth. It's going to happen in, well, every aspect of our current reality that you could possibly imagine. When people teach their children to question things, when people teach their children to research things and not just believe something is true because someone in authority told them so, you have a lot of kids who naturally question authority, question whether or not the figures in positions of power have their best interests at heart. And that is something that the American government does not want. Now, personally, I think that this video is going to go viral, and a lot of the people who are going to be stitching it are going to say things like, see, this is exactly why we shouldn't have homeschooling. And I think the exact opposite. Even though I myself am personally not a flat earther, the reason why I started digging into that topic was because people call you crazy for even starting to consider that you might want to figure out for yourself what you think, and that's a red flag. You don't need to think for yourself, they say, because that thinking has already been done for you. People in positions of power have already told you what shape the earth is. Therefore, you wanting to do any research at all about that topic makes you crazy. Absolutely unacceptable. So I looked into it myself, and at the end of it, I realized that I didn't really think the earth was flat. I do have my opinions about the earth, but this video was not about that. The point is, I found so many conspiracies that the government has both continued to cover up and admitted to in my research. So anytime someone tells you that you shouldn't look into a topic for any reason, that should be a red flag for you. Because if it really is true that such a thing would be crazy, then shouldn't I find out for myself when I finish my research? Shouldn't it eventually become self-explanatory? When people try to prevent you from even looking into a subject, that's a reason enough in itself to look into that subject.
Alright guys, I'm in this group chat that has like all these conspiracies in it, and I woke up this morning and I don't know why I thought this was so funny. Like, if we really stare at this, like really look at this this image, y'all really think that we went to the moon on this in tinfoil? You think this went through the atmosphere? It penetrated the firmament, went through this fake globe, because I'm a flat earther, and we got to the moon. Okay, look at the next image. Okay, look at this, you guys. Okay, so in the group chat, it said, y'all really believe that they used this on the moon? It got 2 lawn chairs and an upside down umbrella. Like, we gotta do better. Like, America, like, when did the moon landing happen? Like, in the 50s or something? In the 60s? Like, they wasn't thinking, like, we were gonna look back and realize that This is some crazy shit. This is some crazy. So supposedly this thing is worth like $38 million. I feel like this is something somebody made in like robotics like class or something. Like this is crazy. But it just goes to show like what else is the government lying about? And honestly, I've been getting so irritated with people and believing in the government and like everything they tell us because they've been lying for so long. But luckily a lot of us are becoming a little bit more woke. This to the point where like there's even some friends where, like I can't even talk to them or hang out with them anymore because I feel like if you're not into this type of stuff and you're not really trying to figure out what the hell is going on, then like what are we doing? Like I don't want to talk about the shade room right now. Let's talk about this fake moon landing, how the earth is flat. Like I'm gonna get into more stuff later. I didn't want to be like a conspiracy TikTok page, but like this stuff fascinates me to like the utmost like ever. So yeah, be prepared. I'm gonna start posting some cool stuff.
Now, if Earth is a sphere with its given dimensions, like all spheres, it must curve. And with those dimensions, we can calculate a curvature rate. And with that given curvature rate, we can see much, much further than where the geometric horizon must be. It's not there, okay? The oceans don't curve, Earth is flat.
Now, guys, listen to me. If the Earth was round, and right here it says that gravity pulls all objects downward toward the center of the planet. If that were true, and gravity is pulling everything to the center of the planet, that gravitational force is being applied equally all the way around our globe. Okay? So, why aren't we being crushed by this gravity that's strong enough to hold oceans of water to it? It's like this. If this pen weighed 5 pounds and I wanted to hold it to the bottom of a table, how much force would I have to apply upward to keep that weight to the table? At least 5 pounds or greater. If it wasn't 5 pounds, the weight would start to fall. Right, I would have to apply at least 5 pounds or greater. So when you look at the oceans, sitting at the bottom of a freaking ball that's spinning and flying through space, that is a lot of gravitational force being applied to keep that water there. So how are we not being crushed by that force? It doesn't make any freaking sense. The Earth is fucking flat.
Hey, y'all see that? It's the moon. And we got the sun over here, right? Once again, the moon. I don't know about y'all. When's the last time y'all seen the moon fully out at 3:20 in the evening? Am I missing something? Let me know.
Having seen hundreds of rocket firings when I was employed by Rocketdyne, I know that the jet of the lunar module lander, the lunar lander, would have created an enormous crater. It would have scoured the moon's surface. It would have tossed up rocks, sand, everything, and created a crater maybe so large that the entire lunar lander could have sunk into it. After all, we're dealing with a 10,000-pound thrust engine, which is pointed directly at the surface, lowered into the surface, and yet, if you look at pictures of the lunar lander on the moon, there is no disturbance whatsoever under the lunar lander's rocket.
And no dust deposited in the pads, the cup-shaped pads at the bottom.
That's another good point. Dust would have been blown 6 ways from Sunday and would have landed everywhere.
And then the famous scene, which has been played over and over, where they are landing there, but they're setting down, and you're hearing the astronaut talking through it.
Oh, that's a good point. I let's say, became aware of that only recently, that here's Neil Armstrong talking about landing on the moon with a microphone, and yet he is sitting practically on top of a rocket engine that is putting out sound levels of about 140 or 150 decibels. Now, we know that that is absolutely impossible to overcome that sound level inside the lunar lander with a normal human voice.
All the things that were once considered science fiction are now centerpiece in our understanding of the nature of everything. You're not going to believe this. In science, we always say that you make observations, you have a theory, you go make more observations, and it's a very, very tedious process. Wrong. Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork.
Let's talk about flight paths, because this will be hard to debunk for my globe earthers. I'm just saying, a flight from Argentina will step over in Europe. You see this flight path? Do y'all see this? Why take the long way on the globe? Why take the long way on the globe? But wait, but on flat Earth, it's actually a straight line. What are the odds?